Hi there. I'm Terri Pace. I'm a holistic health coach, and I'm here to talk to you today about managing stress naturally. During today's workshop, we're going to explore the daily habits you can do to manage stress and your body's response to it. I'll share some simple routines and my favorite essential oils for how you can glide through all of your life's stressful moments. But first, let's start with a very brief overview of exactly what is an essential oil and what are their health benefits. So, an essential oil is distilled from plants, the leaves, the flowers, the berries, the stems, or as in the case of citrus, it's from the rind. They're naturally occurring, volatile, aromatic compounds. In other words, nature's chemistry. Right? Essential oils are message-carrying molecules, and the essential oil is produced by the plant as part of its defensive or recovery mechanisms, part of its communication. Right? It helps it repel pests and attract pollinators. So those three things: protection from environmental threats, improved internal communications, and I'm talking about cellular communication, and healing or repairing damaged cells. Three really great reasons to use an essential oil. There's three very easy ways to use them. The first is aromatic, right? When you open the bottle of an essential oil, what's the first thing you notice? It has a smell, right? It has an aroma. So you can breathe it in, clean the air, open your airways, affect the mood, right? Diffusing lets the entire room reap the benefits of the oils, right? So it makes it really cost effective too to share. Whether you put it in a diffuser or just put some on your palm and breathe it in deeply, this is a great way to impact your health. We can put it on topically. This is a well-founded, well-studied method of applying essential oils, right? You can apply it directly on the area you want to impact, right? So you're having very targeted support. We also talk a lot about putting it on the bottom of the feet or on the back of the neck, right? Two places where we can get some participation with all our systems, and particularly as we talk about managing stress, on the back of the neck, we have access to the neurotransmitter receptor sites that run along the spine, which is exactly where we need to send that message of calm and peace, right? The third easy way is internally, right? Whether you put it in your water, a couple drops of your citrus oils in water, you could put it in a veggie cap, or you could put it directly under your tongue. Now, not all essential oils are created equal. And so you want to make sure that your essential oil, whatever company you choose, has this supplement facts label right here, right? That means that it's rated by the FDA for internal use, right? Now, one thing I love about doTERRA essential oils is that it's not just okay to take them internally, it's actually recommended to take them that way, right? Because we have whole body participation in the chemistry that the essential oil brings. So how fast do they work? Well, within 22 seconds, we find those the chemistry of that essential oil in the brain. Within 2 minutes, it's found in the bloodstream, and within 20 minutes, it's in every cell of your body. Here's a quick example, right? So this is a blood slide taken from a person, right? You can notice that the cells are not round, they're kind of flat and squishy, and if this was a live video feed, you would be able to see that they're kind of sluggish, they're not really moving at all, and they're kind of clumping together, right? So what they did was they applied Balance essential oil on the bottom of this person's foot, and then 30 seconds later took another blood sample, and this is what it looked like. What a dramatic difference in 30 seconds, right? And so when we're talking about pure and potent chemistry in an essential oil, right, we have these very, very small molecules that have an all-access security pass, right? we have immediate access to the limbic system, your nervous system, which is exactly where we want to go when we're talking about stress in the body, right? And so how exactly does stress affect the body, right? We're going to talk a little bit about the power of aroma and the connection between our emotions and the brain, right? So what is the problem, right? A lot of times I'm just very wound up, my mind won't shut off, or maybe I just feel a little off, right? It's important to just notice that you've been triggered, right? What are the things, right, that make you aware about your stress level, right? So how do you feel stress, right? Where do you feel it, right? I know that when I'm feeling stressed out, I know I just don't feel like eating, right? It's like, oh my God, it's like you get a stomach ache. Sometimes you feel the tightness in your shoulders because, you know, my shoulders are up around my ears. Sometimes there is this, you know, back pain I get when I'm stressed out. Maybe I'm feeling unsupported, right? And so there's lots of different places. And it's just really like stress affects the entire body, from, you know, the brain to, you know, all of your internal organs, right? There's stress hormones that are released in the body, and they're going to affect all the different functions because of that chemistry. Okay, so one of the great benefits of using essential oil is that it is, you know, aroma. It's aromatic chemistry, right? And so an essential oil that has an aromatic chemical compound, right, is quickly moved into the brain, right? We just saw how quick, but let's see exactly how does that work, right? And so we have many different sensory systems that help us, you know, pick up what's going on in our environment, right? We're designed to be aware of what's going on in our environment. We're designed to be able to respond to it, right? Our sense of smell is just one example of that system that's always listening. There's thousands of different genes that allow our body to recognize over 10,000 different smells, right? And it's incredibly rapid, right? So when you breathe something in, the first place it hits is the limbic system, which is responsible for memory, for mood and emotion, right? And this is also where we start to affect our autonomic influence, right? I'm going to talk about that in a minute, right? There's some pretty cool science, right? There are smell receptors, right? Like in the nose, it's your olfactory bulb. And what they're finding is the process of smelling, which is called olfaction. There are smell receptors in over 350 places in your body. So it doesn't go on just in your nose, right? The processing of aromatic chemistry is going on everywhere. So smelling it is a very fast way to affect it, but there's lots of different places in your body where you're listening for the influence of that aromatic chemistry. And that makes it super powerful when we want to talk about autonomic responses. So your autonomic nervous system is made up of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, right? So your sympathetic nervous system is sympathetic to your environment, right? It's where we get into that fight or flight, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. We also have, you know, after our response, we go back to homeostasis, and we're in this rest and digest phase. And so we can go through this. We have some kind of stress, right, or stressor. Then it creates this compromise, which feeds our inflammatory response, creates this imbalance, and that creates more stress, right? And I'm not talking necessarily now about like the thing that stressed you out. I'm talking about the body's response. So let me explain it a little bit differently. So here is kind of a continuum of your sympathetic versus your parasympathetic, right? On one side, you have our reaction, and then the other side, we want to vacillate between response and rest, right? And so I kind of look at it like a teeter-totter, right? And so sometimes we have a stressor, like the saber-toothed tiger is, like running you down. And that means that your nervous system is going to be engaged, right? And it's going to have a equal and opposite effect on other systems, right? To get you ready to go, it accelerates your heart rate, it elevates your blood pressure, you have very rapid breathing, and it dilates your pupils, right? And this is a good thing, right? When you need to run from that saber-toothed tiger, you need to have all this stuff ready to go. But after it's over, right, like we release all these stress hormones, epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol, right? Those hormones are what help us to respond, right? But let's say, it's over now, right? We want to return to that balance, right? When we're chronically stressed, we don't ever get to that stage. And so what is the cost? Well, we have increased inflammation. We have an impact on both our digestive system and our immune system, right? Like as our nervous system's engaged, our immune system and our digestive system are suppressed, which is why you get that bellyache when you have a stressful situation. It's why people who are stressed a lot get sick a lot, right? Their immune function is impaired a lot of the time. One of the other ones is your lymphatic system is how we carry the waste of the body, right? It's kind of like a separate channel, and we kind of push dangerous things or waste particles into this little kind of canal that keeps it separate from your body and pushes it out. And so it kind of stops when you're stressed out, particularly when it's chronic. And so you're going to have all these things that are going on in your hormones, and really all this might be good in a moment, but what happens when we're chronically stressed? And so there's lots of essential oils that we can use to relieve stress and tension, right? One of the, we're going to get into a couple of my favorite essential oils here, but one of the most common questions that I get is, does it matter whether I inhale it, use it topically, or ingest it? And so essential oils almost always end up in your bloodstream, right? Whether they're applied on the skin or taken internally, or whether you're inhaling them, right? When we inhale them, we're having that influence on the limbic system, right? And that is, when I want something fast, when I want something that's affecting my mood and my hormones, when I want to, influence the response of my nervous system, I inhale it, as well as, maybe putting it on me or in me. So my first essential oil is the one we talked about with the blood sample I showed you. Balance is a collection of wood oils and flower oils. Wood oils, like the bark, the stems, the roots, right? It's the tree that helps you be grounded and helps you weather life's storm, right? Combined with some flower oils, which are just emotionally comforting. And so just apply it on a pulse point, on the back of your neck, maybe on the bottom of your feet. I do balance on the bottom of my feet before bed, right? That's one of the oils that I love to use to just kind of calm that nervous system. I love diffusing this oil. I put it with wild orange. Wild orange is kind of like sunshine in a bottle, right? And so it has these very uplifting, right? Peeling the skin of an orange, so you get that burst of orange, right? Well, that's because you're opening the skin, which is where the essential oil is. And so that's the aromatic chemistry coming out. And so when you breathe that in, right, don't you feel better? Well, there's a little chemical constituent in the wild orange called D-limonene, and that helps your body produce dopamine, right? That's your happy drug. And so, this is one of the quick ways that we can shift our perception of what's going on, right? I just want a moment of happiness in the middle of the stress, right? And so it's going to, quickly energize you and help you see things differently, and can be very revitalizing because of that. One of the benefits that you get on the side is that it's an antioxidant, which helps reduce cellular stress. right? Because when we're oxidizing, right, living and breathing creates this oxidation and these free radicals, which cause inflammation. And so if you can reduce oxidative stress, right, the cell gets healthier, we reduce our inflammatory response, and we're generally healthier, right? And so this is a wonderful oil to put a drop or two in your water and help it boost your immune system, particularly right now. What a good thing. Good for your nervous system and your mood, good for your immune system, and helps to energize you. Here's another one of my favorites called Serenity. Again, a combination of wood oils and flower oils, right? It is promoting relaxation. It's one of the oils, again, that I use at night. Lots of people that I know carry it with them. They keep it at work, they keep it in their pocketbook, just to keep it near them, maybe in your car. Especially if, you've been driving in traffic, you need something to create a sense of serenity, so that you can get through Long Island traffic, right? But this is a beautiful blend of essential oils to help you feel calm and peaceful and just help you wind down. Another one of my favorites is called Adaptive, because that's what it does. It helps you adapt to whatever's going on. It helps, promote these more positive feelings, right? Like whatever's going on around me, I can stay, peaceful in any environment, right? It helps with cognitive function and emotional balance, which means that you're less emotionally reactive to what might be a stressful trigger, right? Maybe there's a person in your life, maybe you work with them, maybe they're in your circle, family or friends, that, you just tend to butt heads every time you get together, right? And that could be a stressor when we go to, interact in that circle of people. I also love Adaptive for its ability to nourish the chemistry of the brain, right? We know that in order for, it's like my chemistry made me do it. Okay, so emotion is chemistry, right? Everything you feel, everything how you respond, there's a chemistry inside your body that's kind of facilitating that. And so this is influencing that chemistry so that we're responding in a peaceful, very clear-minded, relaxed state. So give this one a try. You'll really love it. They also put it in a roller bottle, so it's quick and easy to roll on your skin. The undiluted oil is available for putting in a diffuser, and they also have the adaptive capsules, which are really good to reduce stress and return that body to homeostasis. So what else? Well, one of the things that I love about essential oils is there's a lot of different essential oils that have different aromas and similar chemistry. And so it doesn't matter which one you use, right? Pick one, right? Whether you like lavender or petitgrain, basil, which is a spice oil, believe it or not, right? We use basil when we're, having mozzarella or tomatoes and stuff like that. Maybe you put it in your tomato sauce. This is an amazing oil to help the adrenal system. And it's very high in something called linalool, which helps your body modulate the cortisol, which is one of your stress hormones. And so you could just simply apply these to the bottom of your feet, put 2 drops in a capsule, or use it with one of the citrus oils in a diffuser, right? Now, some of the essential oils have, a flowery scent, right? So there are ways that you can pick what aroma you like, right? And so I like this little kind of, his and hers, right? So maybe, you prefer the woodier petitgrain to the flowery lavender, right? Whatever it is that you prefer, you can use it. They're both very high in that linalool, and they're going to equally be effective on managing stress and cortisol. So besides, stress, right, we have to talk about what are the ways that stress affects the body, and how do we, how do we nourish the body with its ability to rest, right? And so I love this quote, right? How often not getting a good night's sleep can mimic the symptoms of ADHD, right? Forgetfulness and maintaining concentration. How often have you had a stressful day and then you walk into a room and you're like, why did I come in here? Like, you can't even remember, right? So I love that, there's an appreciation of getting a really good night's sleep. And so using balance, using serenity, and having that help you fall asleep quicker. If you wake up in the middle of the night, just reapply the essential oil. There's no danger. There's no addictions, right? You just put it on again and you roll over and go back to sleep. One of the other things I wanted to bring up is that how we perceive something that happens to us is directly related to how our body responds to it. So if our perception is that we're threatened, or we're not feeling safe, maybe we have some fear or some doubt about something, that's going to create a stress response, right? And what you feel emotionally becomes how you feel physically. So it's really important to just stay aware, right? How am I feeling? And, how is this feeling changing my behavior, right? Because as, if you walked in a room and everybody was smiling at you, right? You didn't know anybody, you walk in, everybody's smiling at you, you walk in and you behave differently than if you walked in that room not knowing anybody and everyone looked up at you and kind of had like a scowl on their face. And you're like, now you're maybe going into, fight, like you're going to get a little aggressive and kind of find your space, or you're going to go sit in a corner somewhere and kind of wait to feel safe and interact with somebody, right? So it has a lot to do with, how we manage stress. Is what are we seeing in our environment, and am I willing to see this a different way? So we have some really great information, right? So we know that a reduction of serotonin can lead to clinical depression. We know that diminished dopamine is associated with ADD or ADHD, and that having the improper GABA activity, right? This is something that modulates stress hormones, right? It creates anxiousness, right? And so, what can we do about that, right? Like when we have depression, we have very low levels of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Look at anxiousness, right? Even lower levels. But look at happiness, right? Serotonin's nice and high, and love creates all this really good, juicy chemistry, right? And so, let's look at what essential oils can help us with these chemistries, right? And so rose helps us with serotonin production. Jasmine helps us with dopamine production, and neroli helps support that GABA activity, right? And so I love that there's so many different choices at our fingertips to help us manage how we're feeling emotionally, because how we feel emotionally sometimes is the very trigger of our stress. We also have the emotional aromatherapy line. So, it's cheer, passion, forgive, console, peace, motivate, right? All of these are the most amazing oils. They do what they say, right? If you're looking for a little peace, grab the peace. If you're looking to be a little happier, grab your cheer, right? If your heart is heavy with something that's going on, put that console on, right? It's just super powerful. What else can you do? Well, no matter what the topic is, there's an oil for that, right? And so what I love about essential oils is that no matter which one you choose, right, it's as simple as opening the cap and smelling it, right? Because they're aromatic chemistry, we can quickly influence the limbic brain and your nervous system, your emotions, your mood. And that can help manage stress in the moment. Need to sleep better? here are some of my favorites, right? Like pick the one aroma that really makes you feel amazing, right? Not everybody likes every single aroma, so just pick the one that you like. Here's another great suggestion, right? We need to get moving in order to reduce our stress, right? So exercise is a very effective stress reliever, right? So go for a walk, get on that treadmill, do some jumping jacks, meditate, do something, get moving, right? It helps. Not only does it create these endorphins, but actually, kind of lets the brain like forget about what's going on in the moment, focus on something else, and you can help figure out sometimes, well, this is the new response or behavior that I want to choose. When we are moving a lot, sometimes we need a little help. And so here's some of my favorite essential oils. And they have some things that help us manage that inflammatory response so that, if you're moving, I don't like to use the word exercise. I think exercise is a dirty word. But it's about movement, and we want to facilitate movement without pain. And so these are my favorite essential oils. And what doTERRA does is they take these amazing essential oils and they put them in capsules so that it makes it easy for you to pop a drop. And now it's very convenient to take them regularly. We also know that at the bottom of the wellness pyramid is eating right. And eating right helps our digestive function, our immune function, and our mood. And so, I want to help you appreciate the connection between, if you're stressed out all the time, really look at your diet. You might stress that the stress hormone cortisol, when there's excess amount of cortisol in your bloodstream, it affects your appetite, right? It makes you crave carbs, right? Because you need that quick energy. And so, we're constantly eating carbohydrates. We want that quick food. We're searching for things that are sugar. And, that's to help us with that quick energy. And so, it's actually detrimental long-term. And so take a look at your diet and, shift a few things away from that. Go to the whole grains, the whole raw vegetables are great, juices are great, right? And just kind of start shifting that a little bit, and you will see a difference in how your body manages stress, and of course, improves immune function, right? Whenever we can get stress under control, we're going to get a boost of both digestive function and immune function. So thank you so much for joining me here. There are lots of different essential oils for whatever it is that's going on. And if you would like to have a sample or get some more help, I'm happy to respond to you and set up a quick, get to know you conversation. So you could simply, send me an email, fill out this link here. You could text me. You can connect with me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I have lots of different content, lots of different classes, different topics every single week. For this week, we have some really great classes coming up. So essential oils for the family. We have a great class called Benefits of the Pharmacy, essential oils to improve mental health and sleep. And later this Friday, we're doing the 10 top ways to get the body you want. And so I'm super grateful that you joined me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.